Welcome to the land of joy, and that is the Ducati Scrambler land. Today we are here to give you a full overview of the entire Scrambler lineup, and I'm super excited about this special edition, the Ducati Scrambler Mach 2. This has been designed by the Roland Sands design studio back in California. Now let's just start with the overviews, and we'll just take you through all the specs, the features, and also the special additions to this bike.
The Ducati Scrambler was introduced back in 2015, and many believe that it was the model that single-handedly turned around the fortunes of the brand and became a best-selling motorcycle. The difference in approach here was going back to the basics, eliminating everything from complex electronic packages to aggressive riding postures. Ducati managed to finally attract a new type of customer in the European market, those who love motorcycles, but at the same time that is not the central focus of their lifestyles. I'm talking about young riders or even riders who are looking for a motorcycle for a simple commuter purpose. In Asian markets, it became the easiest way to associate with the Ducati brand, and with the low seat height and the wide comfortable handlebars coupled with upright sitting position and pillion comfort, the Scrambler became very beginner friendly, and the 75 horsepower meant that even if it was your first bike, you would not feel the need to go up to a bigger bike anytime soon. But they didn't stop there. The Scrambler series was expanded to include multiple variants based on the same platform. I kind of see it like getting a full modded motorcycle right out of the dealership, and if you're thinking of getting a Scrambler motorcycle, this video should help you find the Scrambler that is right for you. Starting with the Ducati Scrambler Mach 2, this is a special edition and one of the most uncommon motorcycles on the street. Specs wise, it is identical to the Scrambler Icon, and only changes are cosmetic. The handlebars on the Mach 2 is a low variable cross-section handlebar, and the seat is a flat track Pro dedicated seat. And with the black exhaust cover and engine heads, it also gets a brushed Cafe Racer fins. Apart from that, it is still running the Pirelli MT60 RS tires. However, the Mach 2 stands apart due to its hand-painted style teardrop tank. Notice the side panel of the tank as found in the Scrambler Icon is missing here, and instead there is a very artistic and retro paint job from Roland Sands design studio from California. The paint job has been inspired from the Bell Cross Idol helmet from the Scrambler 2017 apparel collection, and in case you decide to get this bike, perhaps you should get the helmet as well. The Roland Sands design logo appears on a few places in the motorcycle, but it is not overly done and it is kind of like a subtle appeal. Yet it is a dual branding with Ducati, so the Ducati logo and all of the usual features that appears on the other Scrambler motorcycles is also present on this bike. Next up, we have the Ducati Scrambler Classic. I don't know why I liked it so much, but at first glance there are three major changes. First of all, the spoke wheels, which gives this motorcycle the proper retro look, and next up is the cushion seat. I just love how luxurious and comfortable this seat looks, and maybe it would look good on all other variants of the Scrambler as well. Thirdly is the aluminum front and rear fenders. It kind of gives it the 70s retro off-road bike look. The side panels are polished aluminum, which goes well with the sugar white colorway, all new for 2018. There is a single black stripe running across the top of the fuel tank, and the letters "Born Free" are written on the tank cap, just like other Ducati Scrambler models. Ducati also makes a full throttle variant, which was not at stock in the dealership while we were making this video. The notable differences are lower handlebars, a racing seat with sporty tail, and Termignoni twin mufflers right out of the box. It also has a full blacked out theme, making it look the sleekest in the Scrambler family.
Now we have something entirely different, and this is replacing the urban enduro model. This is the Ducati Scrambler Desert Sled. I definitely request you to check out my full review on the Ducati Scrambler Desert Sled, because I've covered it in a lot of detail there. But as you move closer, I'll just walk you through the changes. First thing, we have a different handlebar. So this is an off-road style handlebar. It's a little differently designed, it's a little lower, and as you can see there's a crossbar. That's the first change. The second change is obviously on the front fork. It is thicker, it has a 200 mm travel, which is much more than the previous Ducati, the Icon, which is standing right behind. Also, you'd see this full off-road style hardcore plastic front fender. The rear fender is also different, and as you can see, spoke wheels specifically designed tires for this bike, which is designed by Pirelli, the Scorpion Rally STR. These are knobbies. I've ridden this bike, so I can tell you that the best part is that this bike can actually do good on highways, on actual asphalt and tarmac, and then when you take it off-road, it gives you good performance there as well. So these knobbies are good for both city and highway and also off-road. So suppose you're taking this bike to an off-road touring, but you'd go through highways, then you'd go through some bad patches, and you don't really need to change tires or compromise on grip while you're doing on the highway. So I really like these tires. Moving back, also we have this handlebar, this headlight grill. This headlight grill is an accessory in rest of the Scramblers, but for this bike it already has that. There is a history behind this. This is designed based on the old California style of desert sled, where they used to take their bikes into the California desert, and there the headlight needed to be some extra protection should have been there in the classic versions. So they've kept to that original design. Now coming to this bike, obviously you have a lot more changes. They've changed the throttle system, which I cannot show you here, but when you ride it, the initial throttle response is a bit lower so that you get more traction while you're off-road. So that's there. So it is not that peppy. It's also heavier than the normal Ducati Scrambler Icon because it has all those extra parts, like they've beefed up the frame, they have beefed up the swing arm, they've added some ground clearance to it. They've also wrapped this swing arm around and connected it in a different way to give it, more ground clearance, as well as making it a little bit more sturdy. So again, you're seeing the rare Scorpion Rally STR. The brakes are same with the original Scrambler Icon, but what I'd like to show you is the gap here. There's a huge amount of gap, and that's been done just so that this bike doesn't slam into the rear tire doesn't slam into the back of the bike. Again, a completely differently designed rear fender. Now when you're looking back into the Scrambler Icon, you can see that this is not truly off-road worthy, and you can see the difference. The gap is much different, the swing arm is different, so a lot of different changes. Cosmetically, you do have these exhausts is also designed. The muffler, the end pipe is designed separately. That has a single canister. This is more like the Ducati's Monsters dual canister design, and I really like that as a styling perspective. Going really low, I can show you that it also has this skid plate, which is actually a functional piece if you're doing off-roads, because sometimes rock jump onto your bottom of engine, and that is happening from the front tire. Maybe something comes up and your engine's gonna be protected. So this can be added as an accessory to the normal Scramblers, especially the classic one, which also comes with spoke wheel tires. So you can also take that bike to off-road, but it won't have this suspension setup, which is completely different and built specifically for off-road purpose. Another thing is, this bike is very difficult for shorter riders because it has 860 millimeters of seat height. Now get on that and we do a comparison with the normal Icon. As you can see, I am 5 feet 8 and I am tiptoeing on this bike. So that's one thing you need to keep in mind. If you're a beginner rider, if you're a shorter rider, this is probably not the bike for you. It's hell a lot fun. It has an amazing ride quality on bad roads, but there are certain limitations like this seat height, and also the riding posture is a bit different because of these handlebars. But overall, a great bike, and this is obviously the most expensive Scrambler that Ducati makes today. A lot of people were happy about it, especially the enthusiast riders, but not really the beginner riders bike. So that's the basic comparison between the Scrambler Desert Sled and the Scrambler Icon, or the normal Scrambler variants. Thanks for staying with the long presentation, and finally we have arrived to the Ducati Scrambler Icon. This is the basic model and it is also the highest selling variant. This is what you'd see on most of the commercials. So now let's take a look at the basic model and what it has to offer.
Since it's the basic model, we could talk a bit about the general features and styling of the Ducati Scrambler. Despite being true to the Scrambler roots, the Icon is a modern motorcycle. Designed with comfort and convenience in mind, probably has the most comfortable and long seat in the entire Ducati lineup, and that is true for all the Scrambler variants. And under the seat there is a USB charger hidden for your smartphone. The high handlebar ends with two non-adjustable mirrors. Frankly, that has always been an issue for me with Ducati bikes. Rigid mirrors break easily in case of a motorcycle tip over, and they are pretty expensive. The teardrop tank shape looks slim but has a decent 13.5 liters of fuel tank capacity, or which is around 4.5 US gallons. The headlight is halogen and has an LED ring, which I really like and would love it on all motorcycles that come with a round headlamp. The brake lights are LED as well, but the indicators are not. Why I would call this bike modern is that it still gets Ducati's light and rigid steel trellis frame, and the 803cc engine, though it is air-cooled, is still a modern unit with refined performance and 75 PS of power with 50.2 foot-pounds of torque. Beginner riders don't like heavy motorcycles, and Ducati delivers there as well. Despite having that huge engine, the motorcycle is light at 170 kgs or 375 pounds dry and 192.5 kgs fully fueled. I can tell you, while riding it feels even lighter than that, and that has always been a case with Ducatis. It even gets APTC wet slipper clutch with mechanical control, and the brake lever is adjustable on the motorcycle, whereas the clutch lever is not. One of the things that I always admire about Ducati is that they don't skimp out on brakes and tires. The 330mm semi-floating single disc up front with radially mounted Brembo 4-piston calipers gets the job done, as I've ridden the Ducati Scrambler Desert Sled. Though I would like to mention that they are nowhere close to performance of the brakes of the Monster 797, which uses the same air-cooled engine. The 2-in-1 exhaust style on the Scrambler is directly taken from the Monster, and the bike has a lot of aluminum parts everywhere, giving it the overall lightweight despite not using plastic. Finally, coming to the retro-shaped modern LCD dash. It's one of the most minimalistic dashes that I've seen, but it manages a speedo, an odo, trip meters, RPM meter, and even a clock. A gear position indicator would have really sealed the deal here. The motorcycle gets subtle Ducati branding all over. The Scrambler lineup kind of extends into your lifestyle with Ducati apparel, accessories, and riding gear to match with the motorcycle. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and do share it. If you're an existing subscriber, make sure to turn on that bell icon, because without that bell icon, I cannot reach out to you with my videos. And if you're a new viewer here, you enjoyed this video, you stayed till the end, I'm thankful. Please hit that subscribe button, and again, I have to mention that bell button. Please hit it, otherwise you won't get a notification when I upload future videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you very soon. This is Rahul. Goodbye.